Hi, hello, my name's Ollie and this is Book Draw. For those of you who don't know, I enjoy looking at queer fiction and then making little images out of it. As some will know, I enjoy turning my images into textile artworks, and this exhibition really inspired me. It's called Cut Cloth, which has been curated by Sarah Joy Ford. It's absolutely incredible and it's at the Portico Library. I managed to take a little bit of recordings of my night there and interviewed a couple of artists there too. The Portico Library is a beautiful space with some really interesting historic books. You should definitely check out the whole thing.
So I'm Sarah Joy Ford. I'm an artist and a curator. I'm based in Leeds and I work with textiles and the kind of intersection between feminist and queer theory and how that can be explored in textiles. Queer theory means that you're not fixed into a binary, so it's a very expansive way of looking at things and taking it away from a kind of binary opposition and opening out so that you can occupy multiple positions at once. So it comes out of the kind of LGBT movement but has also become an academic shift in a way of understanding culture. So textiles works really well with queer theory on two kind of levels. So there's a kind of marginalised history of the LGBTQ community, and then you also have the marginalised histories of textile practice and being pushed to the side of art, and also being women's art and outsider art, and all those kind of narratives of outsidership fit really well with kind of LGBTQ narratives. And then also textiles, it refuses to be defined, it refuses to be part of an opposition between art, between craft, private space, public space. It really resists that in the same way that queer culture does. So it seems like a really exciting place to talk about textile material culture, but also LGBT and feminist identities as well. So the show kind of came out of my own practice, and while I was studying, I was really interested in feminist artists and how they use textiles to talk about their experiences and the history of women, and how textiles became a really politicized medium. And I was interested in all this kind of 70s culture where it was a really subversive act to bring textiles into gallery space, and really shocking. It received a lot of bad reviews, people really pushed it to the side. And then I was thinking about the shift to contemporary culture where it's really normal almost to see textiles in the gallery space now. We've got really big artists like Shonabari and Grace Curry. So I wanted to reflect a little bit on the differences between kind of making textile art as a feminist in the 70s and as a woman, and now, after that kind of surge in popularity, and whether it was still radical and what it means to make textile art as a woman or as a feminist, and what is the kind of future for that if it's not so radical anymore to bring textiles into the gallery. What makes it, what are we going to build that future on?
2014, we young bombed 8 of the man statues in Manchester Town Hall.
All the statues in Manchester Town Hall are men.
And all of the statues in Manchester, apart from Queen Victoria, but she doesn't count because she was just born that way, as royal. We were just thinking that if you were a young girl or woman and you were walking around Manchester and in all of the public squares and everywhere, and you would see these big bulging bronze men and go, oh look, men are really important and they've done so many things that they deserve a big bulging bronze. But okay, where were the women? So we just thought, yeah, let's try and redress the balance a bit and have some nice women to celebrate. And in fact, people were joking to us and going, who are you going to do? Cleopatra coming at you, Emmeline Pankhurst.
Yeah, who are these Manchester women?
We were like, well, yeah, we don't either. So we did some more reading and some research, and in fact there were loads to choose from. They're just hidden from history. Yeah, historian Bethan Hughes. Last year she did a blog for Historic England about women's history and how women's lives are suppressed and not recorded or celebrated, and she had the quote, the statistic that women have always made up over 50% of the world's population, but they represent only 0.5% of recorded history in the Western world.
I made the masks and I use crochet because that's my kind of art form that I need to crochet. also it's kind of a traditional female pursuit. Anyway, as a result of that,
We were contacted.
we were contacted by councillor from Manchester City Council,
Andrew Sidcock, and he said,
he wanted to start a campaign to commission a statue of one of these notable Manchester women.
well, it was part inspired by our project and part by one of his mates who, just before our project, they were having like lunch in the town hall, and she was like going,
Where are all the women? Oh my god, this is like so heavy. I'm bored. Yeah, like, oh my god, we want some women. Where's 50% of the population though?
Fast forward 3 years. They put a call out for which women out of the shortlist picked by.
and that was great that they were all celebrated on the local news. They had profiles of each of the women, so that was, even if the project's at the end of the day is only celebrating one woman, the statue's only going to one woman, but 25 women or 20 women were celebrated to start off with, raising the profile in local schools, and then on like local news like the BBC and ITV, they profiled each of the 8 finalist women, and they had like a small segment last year which was fantastic, again raising awareness. So
And the woman that was picked finally is Emily Pankhurst, who's probably the most well-known suffragette in Manchester. That's kind of, she's the most well-known, so that's why. This is the maquette by the artist Hazel Reeves, and that was the one picked also by Davies.
the statue is going to be unveiled in 2019, and they're still fundraising for it. So if you Google Womanchester, Manchester for more info.
It's on until the 5th of July. On Saturday the 17th of June there's a collaborative knitting workshop with Helen Davies, who's part of Weft, who has done some really exciting craftivist projects in Manchester, protesting the lack of representation of women in Manchester's statues and buildings. So you can come and join in. You don't need to know how to knit, or you can be a really advanced knitter. Just come and join in, and we're going to knit little bits together, and then we're going to turn it into a big collaborative piece. There's a book launch, so it's a book part of the exhibition which explores the themes even further, which is all newly commissioned essays, and it's going to be free to download on the internet so everyone can access it, but also to buy as a book. And that launches at the Whitworth on the 6th of July. Free cocktail, and see the books and have a lovely time. And then on the 7th of July, there's a craftivist workshop run by Sarah Corbett, who is the founder of the Craftivist Collective in London, who champions what she calls soft activism, and we will be embroidering handkerchiefs to send to people in power to tell them how we feel and what we want to make a change about. So you can sign up for that on Eventbrite and come and make some change with your stitches.